guys, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about your wonderful film. I will be directing questions individually so we can sort of make the Zoom situation work. So Sienna, let me start with you. One of the things that I was really impressed and bowled over by the performance that you guys did is that it's sort of the when you're in the scene, there's like two levels of acting going on, in the sense that you're in the emotional state of the scene, but you're also like remembering the scene and commenting on it. It seems like a very high wire, complicated act, and you just do it beautifully. How difficult was it to get there, to be emotionally truthful, and then sort of also be from the outside commenting on what's going on in the scene? So if you could talk to me about that.
It was really hard. It was a really, really the most difficult thing I've had to do, I think. And you're right, it was a high wire act. We had rehearsal process with Tara where we could really map out the moments where we were in the past, in the present. Sometimes it was elusive and confusing to us, but Tara really had this film in her head. And in terms of balancing the emotion, that's just like it's hard work. It's a lot of prep. It's a great director. It's a great person opposite you. Um, so many things have to go right to pull that off, and we were fortunate if it worked. It was there were moments where I didn't trust that it was working, so I'm glad that it did in the end.
No, I most definitely did. So, Tara, let me ask you this. How did you, I mean, it's a beautiful film visually and it's an emotional journey, but I imagine like that the core of it is building that relationship with your two actors. So did this require anything different or special in sort of building that for the camera, given that it's a complicated narrative that you're telling?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, the first thing is that I'm incredibly lucky to have had the opportunity to work with two actors who have such pure talent and instincts, and then are also incredibly intelligent and sort of were able to, go along this journey with me and deconstruct what the pieces were that we needed to put into this to make it work. But I think the bigger thing probably for all of us was the discomfort of doing something that felt brand new, that felt unfamiliar, that and for me, like, for working with like this level of talent, to say, don't worry, I've got it, and it is working, and you're doing it, it's all working, when they were sort of unsure along the way because it was such strange work to do in real time, and sort of having faith in the process while we were discovering what it even was. It's like there was like this beautiful sort of in real time discovery that I don't think you often do in film. It felt much more like a theatrical rehearsal process almost all the way through shooting. But yeah, I was very lucky to work with these two.
All right, so thank you for that. So Sienna, let me ask you this, because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so I'm tap dancing around. What's your memory like? Because, for example, like, I scare my mother. I like say, I remember this, and I start telling a story, and she goes white because and I'm like, what? Like, you were one, and I like literally recall details. So what is your memory like if you were placed in a situation? Do you think you would get a grasp of everything, or do you think it would be like elusive details floating around?
My memory is definitely not as good as yours. I'm quite selective, I think. I remember like textures of things. I don't remember details, but like a smell can invoke a memory. It's much more it's a sensual kind of memory. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Do you think because you're an actor, sense memory is more enhanced than actually like actual regular folk memory?
Maybe, maybe it's useful for acting if it is, and I think it is. Yeah. I
All
think
right.
so.
So, Tara, my last question is to the person that is not here with you, like Diego. Why did you? Because it's a beautiful role for him that is not typical to what he's done. He's very eclectic, but it's still new for him. So, why did you think of him, and why did you pick him for this one?
I mean, he says in the film, it was his boyish charm. Like, he makes this joke with her, but the thing is, it's not just that about Diego. He's also fiercely intelligent and such a deeply good human. So, I mean, layer that on top of his talent and his, incredible acting ability. There was just something about him that was Mateo, like from the get-go. And I think those are some similar qualities that I see in my husband that he shared, although they're two incredibly different creatures. So, go figure. It was always his.
All right. So my time is up. Thank you so much for talking to me about the film, and stay healthy wherever you are. Okay. Thank you so much.